Hello everyone, welcome to this free bonus live Facebook session. Today I want to share a fun little combination using cross step variations, which is steps where you cross the legs and then pose. And this combination will be with and without the veil. So if you have a silk veil, preferably rectangular, but it will work with any veil. Nearby, hold it near. And we will do a little warm-up first. So this month I have been working with my online students on traveling steps of all different types. And the week we are in now, week 3 specifically, is for cross-step variations. And as a bonus for them, but also something for all of you guys, we will do a little drill and a mini combination for practice, applying what we have learned this week. If you want to go deeper into traveling steps, hello, welcome. You can still get the recordings of Travel Step Boost, which is a 4-week program where we work on strengthening the hips and turnout, working on turnout, as well as deepening your pliés and extending the legs. All the things you need as a base for strong traveling steps. Hello, Oliva, welcome. So if you want to make your travel steps more smooth, I recommend working on your movement quality instead of only practicing the technique and drills. It's important, of course, but if you want your movements to get better from the inside out, then working on your range of motion and strength, activating and opening the joints will help you even more. And that's why I've created this 4-week program. You can get the recordings. The live sessions are closed now, but I'll add the link anyway to those who want to check it out. You can. Today though, we'll start with a little musical warm-up, then we go into a technique breakdown of the steps, and then we combine it into a little mini combo. So whatever level you're at, feel free to join. Try these movements, and if you have questions, just put them in the comments. I will see them and I hopefully will be able to help. Welcome to this group, by the way. If you are new here, this is the place where I will be posting all of my free Facebook live videos. Okay, let's begin with a little warm-up. Feet parallel, hip distance apart for now. Let's inhale and float the arms up. Exhale, gently bend. And bend. What I'm doing, you might not be able to see it from the front, is I'm sending the hips behind me, as if I'm doing the back of a hip circle. So I slide my hips back, lengthening and pulling in the front, so my pelvis tips a little back, and then from there I send my hips even further. So it's easier with the weight in the back to go deeper, and that will warm up the back of the legs. Hi Rosemarie! And that's one of the motions we will use in our combination. So let's try it with me. Just hip slide, front and back. Weight in the balls of the feet, weight in the heels, weight in the balls of the feet. I'll start to the side so it's easier to see. Open and extend the front, back. I'm not rounding, but I'm sending the hips back. Let's do only the hips. Slide front, slide back, and I'm pulling in the front. If you're just tuning in, we'll do a cross step variation combination with and without the veil. So keep a veil nearby. Other side, pulling in, relax. Pulling in, relax. Pulling in, relax. Pulling in, it's also an ab warm-up. Pulling in, relax. Let's do 2 more. In, relax. In, and shake it out. So, as I am bending, I will now do first a hip slide to the back, and then I bend the knees. So my shorts go as far behind me in the screen as possible. And then I send the shorts to the other side as I extend. And this way I can sink deeper and come up. But as you can see, my head stays in the same place. It doesn't travel front and back now. It goes up and down, but it's the hips going back and the hips going front. Hips going back, hips going front. This is one of the movements that will give you the most warm-up wise. So I always do it. I always start with it. Let's stop the music for a moment. Yes. So our cross step variation, we will need our legs to turn out. I will go far back so I'm above the comments, but I'll come closer. To turn out every time we do our first step. Hi Sandra, there you're back. So every time I step, no matter if it's crossing or stepping behind or stepping in front or stepping straight to the back, I make sure to turn out my leg before it lands, before it hits the ground. And that's one of the secrets for smooth traveling steps and directional changes. Working on this alone, turning out the legs from the pelvis and opening up this range of motion will free up your traveling steps and make it a lot easier to go around and go where you want to go. I, as a dancer, had trouble with this for the longest time. I was trying to mimic what I saw other dancers do by sending my feet in the directions that I saw them going. And if you work only from the feet and the hips are kind of locked, which mine were, they were a bit more tight on one side than the other, some of the movements did not make sense and I wasn't able to get the smoothness and the range that I needed. Hi Patricia, welcome. So one of the things I have been working on intensely is opening up range of motion, reclaiming it in all of my joints, and it has made my dance life easier. And because I want this knowledge and this freedom for as many dancers as possible, I will be creating, or I have created, but I will be offering a free 12-minute turnout mini routine that I've created for one of my DVDs, the Balletic Moves for Belly Dance. Some of you might have it, but the routine from that, one of the pieces of the warm-up is 12 minutes, and that's something you can do at home without warming up beforehand, before your class. You can do it after class, before you're going to bed, any time of day. You can do this routine and it will increase the range of motion in your hips and pelvis, enabling you to turn out the legs and turn them in at will, and also feel your movements better. If you want, you can sign up for this. You will give me your email address, and in return I will give you this video. I will add the link to this, to the comments of this video and to the description later on. I cannot do it now because the video has not been uploaded yet, but this weekend you will be able to get my 12-minute free up your turn out routine. And it works, it really works. If you do traveling steps or shimmies or anything to do with hip work afterwards, I promise it will feel better. And I want you to share it, share that link with others so others can sign up for this video as well. So that's my little mission. I will free up your turnout and I will spread this message as far as I can because it changed my dance life, and I hope it will do the same for you. Speaking of that, if you have trouble now with turning out, because I will be cueing you to do it often, don't worry, just get the routine, try it out, and then repeat this video after, and you will notice it will go more smoothly. Anyway, I want to try a little combination of a grapevine, where I want you to work on turning out that leg with the first step. If you've taken a traveling step workshop with me, we have worked on this extensively, and my people from the August online classes, we worked on this today. Whenever you cross your leg, it can be tricky to remember the turnout if you're doing layering or thinking of the hands and posture, but that's the step, the one where you cross in front, where the turnout needs to be set, where you need to think of it. Then if you open up, it's more natural, more easy. If you cross back, it's natural and easy. Opening up again, easy. But then this next step, because you're thinking of going there, sometimes the turning in will happen. So that's where you need to flip your thinking, these are my legs, and go with the back of your knee first. I'm cueing the knees and not the feet because the feet can rotate on their own. Think the back of your knee going first. So one grapevine step is actually 4 steps. You cross in front, you open, you cross in back, you open, and now you're back at the starting position. That's one grapevine. 2 grapevines will be continue, cross in front, open, cross in back, open. Going back, grapevine the other direction, front, side, back, side. That's one grapevine, another one, front, side, back, side. I can do only 2 and then I'm out of the screen, but that's what we will put in the combination. That's 2 full grapevines. 1 full grapevine would be crossing, opening, crossing behind, and opening. And if you open, you can shift the weight, or you can stay on the inside leg and simply pose on the side or keep your leg in front. So those two options we will play with. And then we continue. Front, side, back, side. I call this a half grapevine if I keep my leg in front or if I don't shift the weight and continue. It will be front, side, back and hold. That's what I call a half grapevine, even though it's a full step. But for the sake of the combination, so you can follow me, if I cross in front and open, cross back and hold or tap, half a grapevine. Let's do this together. Cross, open, cross, hold. Cross, open, cross, hold, open, cross, hold. So you go back and forth, and as you can see, my body kind of travels diagonally or changes angles. And this is why I want you to turn out on the 1 and 2 and turn out and 2 and turn out and 2 and back of the knee. Back of the knee goes first. And you can even add a tilt. If you've done last week's video on arabesques, we used turn out and extending the legs there too. And a little tilt of the upper body. I try to keep the shoulder that faces the audience a tiny bit lower by compressing my rib cage on the audience side and opening. So I'm breathing in on this side, lifting and relaxing. So I lift the side that's away from the audience. It opens up communication here. I turn out this leg. I turn it out actively and I extend it so it's nice and long. And from there, I turn out and step. I open, I cross behind, and I tilt. Step, step, and tilt. Step, step, and tilt. Step, 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 tilt. Step, 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 tilt. As a bonus for this half grapevine, send the hips a bit back. I hope you can see this. I slide the hips back like we did in the warm-up. It's the back of a hip circle. This lengthens my back. It pulls in the front, and it's actually the same end result as sliding my chest to the front, only I go at it backwards. My chest is already where it is and my hips go behind, and I end up in a chest in front of the hips position. So that's my end position, my chest in a different time zone than the hips. Hello, welcome. Hi, Mayan. So my hips are there, my chest is there. I turn out this leg, the front one, and I pose. And here you can wait for the music to repeat. We'll do some freestyle, especially with the veil, and then we continue. Turning out, stepping open, crossing behind and pose. Here again, the hips go a bit back, the shoulders open, I tilt slightly, and then you can plie and do whatever you like. Or you do what I do. Front, step, back, hips back. 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 If you don't think about it too much, the hips will go back a bit if you put the weight all the way on the back leg, and you will tilt down a bit if you're looking at me in the screen. If you keep contact and the hips go behind, you will have a little bit of a tilt. So don't overthink it, just practice this and know that that's what's going on. You don't have to mechanically do it. Let's try a little bit with music. Just the cross step, the full grapevine, meaning 2 full grapevine steps, half grapevine, going back and forth, so you get it into your body before we add the veil. And this you can do to fast music, slow music. It just changes the tempo, doesn't change the movement. A tip from the online classes today: if you have trouble turning out on the first step, make sure you don't make the step too big. Make it small. And the second step, where you step out, that you can make small or big. So if you want to make a grapevine bigger, cross small, then step, then cross small, then step. If you want to make it small, it is small and small and small and small. Small and small and small and small. If you want to make it big, it is small and big and small and big, small and big and small and big. So only the stepping open, you make it big. The crossing, always small, so the turnout does not get lost. Remember. Okay, let's go full grapevine. Front, step, back. Step, front, step, back. Sorry, I started fast and then went slow. Let's do slow. Cross, open, behind, open, cross, open, behind, and pulse. Cross, open, behind, open, cross, open, behind, and pulse. Cross, open, behind, open, cross, open, behind, turn out, and cross, open, behind. I'm doing small steps so I don't go out of frame. If you have a lot of space, you can make it faster. Behind, open, cross, and behind, and pose. In the pose, tilt, and this arm will follow your body. Let's grab a veil. Only this, with a veil, it'll help you see the upper body tilt and help you feel it also. So I'm not doing arms, it's the rotation of the rib cage, side to side, the tilting to the side. Have the veil behind you. I'll go back a bit so you can see me better. Crossing, open, step behind, open. Crossing, open, step behind and pose. Cross, who's there? Hi, Banani! Let me go back to the start. Cross, open, behind, open. As you can see, my upper body tilts and it takes the veil with it. Cross, and I follow. Wherever my leg is in front, that's where my chest comes down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, pose. Hello, welcome. Hi Kim, hi Patricia. Faster, very small. 5, 6, 7, mini steps. Cross and back and cross and pose. Let's stay here. 5, 6, 7, go. Cross and back. Turn it out and back. Stay here. Half wave fire. Cross. Open, back, and pose. Cross. Open, back. Those hips go back. Cross. Open, back. Hips back. Cross. Open, back. Hips back. 1, 2, 3 hips back and pose. Arms up. Arm flow. And tilt. Cross, cross, cross. Stay. Down. And tilt. Let's do 2 more. I feel it in the arms. I'm sure you do too. Arms up, arms down, and tilt. As you can see, I switch my tilt. And if I do a full break climb, I will do this twice. Again. Cross, 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 and the other arm comes up because I tilt here. Cross, 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 tilting here. Let's do 2 more. Cross, 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 relax. And cross, cross, cross. Last one. 1, 2, 3. We did the same tilting in the arabesque video of last week. And down. Veil to the side, we'll go to the second step of this combo. And that's one of my favorite. It's cross-stepping and to the back, to the side, cross-stepping and to the side. And this, if you see my choreographies, hi Patricia, is one of the typical Kalila movements. I used it with everything. Stepping to the side, stepping to the side. That's the base. I turn out and cross, I open, I turn out and cross, I open. I add a little bit of my head movement wherever the leg goes out. That's where my chin kind of turns. I don't turn my face completely to profile. It's more that I listen. I turn my ear in this direction. So that's the base of my favorite step. Things that I like to add to it is, for instance, stepping out and shifting the weight. So this makes the step a bit bigger. I go all the way out of frame. It's the same footwork, but instead of pointing the leg out, I send my shorts with it. And for that I use my exercises on the block, the ones we did in the Travel Step Boost. That's all to make this movement better. Another thing that I like to add is to keep the steps small use the hips instead. So now again I stay centered and I do hips up and down. This is something we'll work on next week, but then you've seen a little preview. Hi Huguette, welcome. So I cross, I open, I cross, I open. For going back I cross behind, and then my hips do this. They go up and down, but they don't stop. They don't stop. So that's a little homework. Next week we'll do a combination with that one. For today we'll do the crossing and a bit of a lean, a bit of a lean, and a bit of a lean. What actually happens underwater is I cross and the standing hip makes a little figure eight. So I'll do like this, so you know for sure that I'm not using this foot to start the movement. I'm doing a figure eight and I'm just putting my toe down to be able to get back, and my knee is bent because my leg will be too long as my hip is down. I cross in front to go in front. I do a little figure eight with my standing hip and I slide out. I just catch myself with my foot and I come. I sometimes put the heel down and sometimes I leave the heel up. If the heel is up, it is smaller. If the music is very slow, I let my heel come down and immediately also I plie. And that means my upper body will do the movement. So for the hips, my leg stays straight. I do a figure eight from the standing hip. For the upper body, I exhale and I plie this leg, and then everything will go. So it's the same thing. I start with a figure eight on one leg. This is a good one to practice on a block. And I put my heel down, I melt this leg, and the rest will happen. This looks like an upper body movement, but it's actually feet and hips only. Voila. So this we do with veil. I step and cross, simply straight but with head to make it dance. And you can even go a bit diagonal, as we practice also in class. Going back the same, where my leg is out is where I look. And I have the leg a bit in front. Then a tiny figure eight, a tiny figure eight, a tiny figure eight. So you can see my head stays. I don't travel, it's only as far as my hip can go. Same thing to the back, same thing to the back. Then hip goes and I stay there, I travel. Now my head travels. And as soon as I melt this hip, I go even further than the hip. Hi Rose, welcome. So I cross, I send out, I do the little figure eight of the previous exercise, but I keep my hips above the other leg. I melt this hip and suddenly I can go beyond. So it's all about the pelvis and the feet. Little figure eight, I decide to go there, I melt and relax. The figure eight. This one may take some practice, but you can repeat the video. You can practice this one, have it as homework. Once it works, it's a really nice exercise. So that's it for this cross stepping. Then we will go into half grapevine. Turning out on the 1, 2, 3. Turning out on the pose. 1, 2, 3. And then we add a bit of hip. Sending the hip to the back. Then we add a bit more upper body. We'll play, we'll turn around, and we'll go from the front again. Let's do this with music, with no veil, and then we have a veil. It'll be a short session because I'll be recording a tip drop after this. If you are working on a desk, check out my Tip Drops membership. It's short videos that I send to your mailbox every Friday. And today I will do a little routine, exercises that me and my husband, Mr. E, do 2-3 minutes at a time, every hour if we have a lot of computer work. So I know it's Friday, you might have worked a lot. This tip drop you can do anytime. Little exercise routine to open up the upper body and reset your desk posture. But for now, exercise with no veil, cross stepping. Let's start. One leg fast. Cross and look. Cross gently doing a mini snake arm for the arms. Cross and chin. Cross, let's go back. Cross, extend the leg, turn out, extend. Little breath under the elbow. If you have the feet going on, start paying attention to the arms. And again, let's do simple feet, adding the chin, and for the brave ones, an arm circle on top. Going back, reverse, turning out, extend, turning out, extend, turning out, extend, turning out, extend. Shake it out. Next round, tiny figure eights. Out, little figure eight. Out, figure eight. Out, figure eight. I'm not doing arms, so I don't want to confuse you. Step, open, little figure eight. Step, open, little figure eight. Cross back, open, little figure eight. On Maya, cross back, open, little Maya. Cross back, open, little Maya. Cross back, open, little Maya. Now let's go. Cross, little Maya, release, back. Cross, start with Maya, weight over the leg. Start, Maya, hip, relax. Cross, stand, hip, relax. Shake it out. Half grapevine. Starting here. Step, open, cross behind, and pose. Step, open, cross behind. If that works, add the chest. Tilting down towards the audience. You can go like this. You can see my elbow where the leg is in front comes down. 1, 2, 3, a bit faster. 1, 2, 3, and we wait and check. Step, step, step. Make sure you tilt, hips back. Step, 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 hips back. Step, 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 hips back. Step, 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 plie, and again. Cross and over, plie, and again. Turn out, turn out, turn out, turn out. Check my little tutorial later. I'll add a link to the comments. 1, 2, 3. It will change your dancing. Let's grab a veil. So, final bit of today. First with no music but with veil, then with music with veil, and then you'll have a little homework combination. If you're a teacher, feel free to use this in your classes. Also my information about turnout. Also, if you get the tutorial, feel free to share the sign-up link so as many people as possible can have these exercises for at home. I think it's so important to, as a dancer, keep educating yourself. It's one of the things you can never invest too much in learning. Time is short, and the more we learn, the better. The more we can keep educating ourselves and others, the better for the art and for ourselves, because it can warm your heart if you see that there's progress after focusing on something for a while. So give yourself the permission, no matter how long you have been dancing, to rediscover movements and to learn from different sources. For me, a lot of my learning lately has happened from different movement arts, from ballet and from martial arts. And I've been finally able to incorporate it a bit into my belly dance movements. But it meant I had to go back to the very beginning, to the basics, beneath the basics. And that has helped me the most. If you're at a certain level, going back to the beginning can really transform your movements. So that's what I've learned the last few years, and that's what I want to share. We will do. I always get sidetracked if I'm enthusiastic. Cross-stepping and pose. Cross in front and pose. And as you can see, I do a little bit of a tilt here as well. Instead of towards the audience, it's towards where the leg is extended. So I drop this shoulder and I close the rib cage a bit, and it will also help me to look towards the direction that I want to look. So I'm exhaling on the side where my leg extends. And this looks quite different from just here. I'm doing the exact same leg extension. I'm pointing my toes. I'm turning out my legs, but still it looks a bit less like dancing, more like mechanical foot movement. So all I do to change is when my leg goes out, I sink this down and I let my chin drop. I imagine my head reacting to gravity. If this comes down, of course, this happens. That's natural. And now, I hope you can see the difference. It looks a lot more like dancing suddenly, even though all I change is add a bit of a tilt of the heart. And looking to where the interesting bits are happening. When my leg is out, that's where you want the audience to look. And if you're not sure what to do with the arms, I advise rotating and working on the back muscles. This one here will support your arms. The rotation here will make all your movements more beautiful, especially with veil. Okay, so that's my little speech. For cross-stepping, you can even have the arm up where the leg is up, then it looks a bit more balletic. So depending on what atmosphere you want to go for, any movement is better than not moving at all. So you can, for me also, go opposite. Go up where the leg is out, or you can come down where the leg is out. In any case, it looks more beautiful and will give your movements a bit more pizzazz. Then we have the little figure eights. For that one, you can bring your arm to the front. Also, it's a bit less tiring. So I do this little figure eight. And the same arm, I start the figure eight so you can still see it. Then I let the arm come in if I sink down. So that's for the little figure eight. You can simply keep the veil a bit lower or a bit higher or all the way up. So that's for the hips. You want the hips to be visible. Where I don't go with the upper body. Let's do like this. When I move the upper body, I move the arm also. So it becomes more of a flowing movement. I do the figure eight. I send my weight out and I relax. Figure eight and relax. So that's how I build up my movements. I start from the footwork. Then I add the hips and upper body. Then the arms will kind of figure themselves out, because they're attached to me. Half break 5, the final part. 1, 2, 3, and pose. 1, 2. So this is with no arms, no upper body. If I do the tilt, as you can see, the veil moves. I don't have to do anything else, except maybe exaggerate a bit what happens. So if I'm here, my arm is already up. I might lift this, rotate this elbow more, and breathe with it. And then we can do pose, little hip work in between. So that's the full combination. We step, we step, we step, we step. Opposite or the same, you can choose. As long as I see something happening here. Then we do a little hip, and we will have the veil up so the hips are visible. So slowly moving. Bringing the veil from side to up and back again. Then we have the big movement where we start with a figure eight, but then I send my shorts all the way over and over. Here the veil stays to the side and I simply close my arm a bit. If you have trouble with any of these exercises, just send me a message, PM me, and I will help you out. That's part of my online service this year. If you are doing my live videos, no matter if they're free or paid, and there's an exercise you have trouble with, simply send me a little video via PM, Kim Khalida Bech, and I will give you hints, or I might send you to a video that's already there to help you out. So if this one gives you trouble, try it, film it, send it to me, and I might be able to direct you to help, so you get it, so you can practice it. Then we go into the half break 5, and pose, step, 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 and pose, adding a little upper body tilt, adding a little upper body tilt, and then we will stay, sink down and up, arms. I'll do freestyle arms so you can follow. To wrap it up, pose, and I pose. And if you like all things veil, by the way, This month is for Traveling Steps, but next month in September, I'll be doing a 4-week program to improve your veil work from the inside out. It'll be veil basics, how I hold the veil, what I do to make the veil move when I'm not doing fancy work yet, but to make the basics of the veil and the transitions more beautiful. Second week we will work on flips and special effects. Then we will work on wrapping the veil around us and unwrapping. And the final week will be the veil and you, how to really make veil work, veil dance and not veil work. So if you're interested in all things veil, I have an article on my blog which I will link to with all the tips I could think of that make veil work better, that you can do even without practice, just by knowing these things will help. Second thing I recommend is the Veil Boost 4-week program. If you really want to go deep and work on your body, your extensions, upper body, flexibility, anything you need to make your veil look more beautiful, and these 4 topics that I mentioned, veil basics, flips and effects, wraps and poses, as well as making your veil dance with you. My September online classes, I will link to it. You can enroll for it this weekend. Working on your turnout, good for everything, you will get that one for free at my 12-minute program. So that's all. That's all I want to say, because once I start dancing, I will forget. Final drill with music, and then I release you for the weekend. If you want some quick desk rescue exercises, check out my Tip Rock membership. I will send out a video every Friday. Today's will be for the desk workers like me. Crossing the leg, cross and point. Cross and point. Let's do just the head to start. Cross. Going back. Now let the arm, where your leg is extended, gently sink down by rotating the upper body, tilting the side, tilting the side. I'll go all the way back. So you can see me. And cross step and cross. You can give yourself time to do this after you step. It doesn't have to be quick. Upper body, upper body. Going back to the middle. Or for those who want to go opposite, also works. Now the little figure eights. Middle figure eights. Cross figure eights. I'm still looking in the direction of the hip that moves, or where the leg is a bit out. Hip figure eight. Hip figure eight. Hip figure Maya. Maya. For some people, Maya is a better cue. Then we'll go figure eight and lean. Cross, little figure eight, shifting the weight and relax. Cross, figure eight. Cross, figure eight. Cross, figure eight. Cross, figure eight. Going back. Into the half grapevine, let's pose. 5, 6, 7, 8. I think the music might stop any moment. Stay for a moment. 5, 6, turning out that front leg. 1, 2, 3. Pose, and again. Step, step, hold. Hips back. And step, step, step. Hips back. And stay. Step, step, step. And feel down. And pose. Nice. Nice work. So that's my little combination. We'll do a short cool down, because this is quite some work for the arms and the legs. You might feel it. I've not done much veil this month, except for some posing for photo shoots. So I'm feeling I'm feeling the work. You might feel it also. So let's stretch the legs as well as the arms. I'll be crossing over, crossing both my arms. The arm that's below will grab my shoulder, and then I will lift my elbow so the upper arm can just rest on it and is supported. To economize, the same leg, it doesn't matter which leg, one leg is in front, feet parallel, bending the front knee, and then moving the hips a bit from there. Bending the back knee, sending the hips back and wiggling the hips, and the front and just lining the hips. Lifting and lowering this elbow, relaxing the arm, interlace the fingers, reach all the way up and down, up and down, up and down, open. Thank you for joining me. By the way, I was telling my people in the online class that switch arms, other arms below, switch legs, that I always look forward to Fridays because that's become our dance day when most people are free of work afterwards, or they can catch up with the videos. For me, it's I teach a class at 12:30, then there's the bonus session, usually here, this one, which I also like, and then I send out the weekly tip drop video. Today I will record a new one because someone requested some, or someone was struggling with a lot of desk work this week, so for you I will make a little video with a routine that you can do whenever you need. I would recommend every hour or so you get up and you just move for a little bit, and you will be able to work and focus better after that. And I like these little sessions because they inspire me, they make me think of movements and sometimes rediscover movements that I thought I already knew. If you teach something, it helps you to internalize movements. So I always recommend students or dancers, if you find something interesting and you want to really internalize it, try to teach it to someone else. It doesn't matter to whom. I've been teaching movements to my husband. Let's go with the hand behind the back. During the Corona heyday in April, May. And for some movements, this really was interesting for me. I learned more by trying to teach my husband than I learned from taking classes. So try teaching someone who does not dance, and you will have to rediscover movements that seem simple to you, might get some new, might become interesting again. And also it will give you maybe some motivation, because all the things you learned, we tend to take it for granted. Once you have something, often we are not pleased yet, but we want to learn the next thing, and we tell ourselves we can only be happy when we reach this or that, and it's hard to be happy with what you have and still keep progressing. But that's the point of life, actually, to keep learning, to be happy with what you know, to be happy with what you can do, to be proud of the work, but still keep learning, stay open to learning more, and to be willing to let go of what you think you know in order to be able to learn more. So let's interlace again, but this time in the front. Bending the back. Oh, this one feels nice. Bending the back, rounding yourself. Imagine you are a banana. And you're rounding your back, pulling in here, sending your belly button to the room behind you. Sending your hands to the room on that side. And then you open and do the opposite and kind of wave your arms behind. Other side, the same. For those tuning in now, thank you for joining the cool down. You can replay this video afterwards. Ask me any questions you have. Send me a video if you struggle with any of the movements. I might help. If you want some desk rescue activities, check out my Tip Drops membership. We have a nice crew going on, and you can send me requests for weekly tip drops. If you have anything you struggle with, I might create a tip drop just for you, because it might be interesting for others also. Hi, Lieve. Thank you also. So I wish you a great weekend. Have a very nice Friday. Enjoy your Saturday, Sunday. I will see you next week, probably also on Friday, for some cross step and different step, traveling step layering exercises, and that will close the travel step month. Next week I will open the Veil Boost online class series. So if you want to study with me deeply and improve your veil work, or if you just want to open up range of motion and strength in your upper body, I recommend this 4-week program. Tomorrow, hopefully, the newsletter will be out and the link will be in that. Yes, thank you so much. I enjoyed this also. I know it's live and I cannot see you, but I feel that you guys are here and I'm imagining you dancing with me. You might be just having a cocktail and watching me from the swimming pool, but nevertheless, I imagine I'm dancing with you guys and it really makes me happy. So I will be doing these live sessions often, once a week or once a month at least, so I can update you guys on what I'm doing. And if you want to study with me, you can always sign up for the online classes. But the live sessions, I don't keep them open forever. I keep them open for the first 2 weeks only, so then it makes more sense. And it doesn't matter if you can only do a few live, even if you can do only one per week or one every 2 weeks. I've noticed that those who are able to pick up a live session with me where we can interact, or at least you can ask me questions, it motivates you more to keep dancing. So if you get recordings and you just download them and they rest on your computer forever, it's a bit of a shame. So next year I will be doing it differently. I will be having a kind of Kalida online membership. And if you sign up, you will just pay a monthly fee, which is the same for everyone. You will get live access and the recordings and access to my workshops, which is once per month, more or less. And this way you can study with me, and wherever you have time, you just jump in live. You will be my student and I will help you whenever you have problems. So that's for next year. For this year, it's still the separate months. You can sign up for September, the Veilwork 4-week program, and catch up with recordings or catch me live whenever you can. There will be a workshop with Veil somewhere in the middle of September, and I still have to make the sign up link. I will make this turnout video ready for you also this weekend, so then you have enough to practice with and you can get going. So have a great weekend. See you soon. Bye bye.